Today's story is about a loving mother who disappeared into the night after recent visits to the hospital and a divorce attorney's office. The small town rumors point in different directions. There is evidence of a runaway, or is there? You're listening to Missing Midwest, and someone knows something.
What are you doing?
Man, I'm ready to rock.
That's my part.
Hey, listen, I like being able to take over a case sometimes, help out a little bit.
This is your first one.
But
you led one Murdered Midwest. Mm-hmm. So the subscribers know you, but all the other people that haven't subscribed, they've never heard you tell a case before.
I'm a little hyped about it, to be honest with you. I am. It's fun.
So excited.
I get into it. Once I start going, it's like, yeah,
I hate it because I know nothing and I have to give you control. Things I don't enjoy doing.
I like it better when you're running the show, but when I'm trying not to fumble when I get the ball, so.
Well, we'll see how well you do. Everyone be prepared to give grades and feedback. I'm excited I don't know anything about it, so that should be new. It's new for me.
There is an Unsolved Mysteries episode that I didn't want you to watch until after we record this. We can watch it tonight.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm hyped about it too.
So you're going to give me this story and then let me watch a professionally made TV documentary on the case.
Yeah, maybe that's a bad choice. You're going to be ripping me up and down. If I didn't do a good job, you're going to be all over me.
No, it's brave of you to do. I mean, wow.
I would have, Cody.
I thought you'd pick one.
Mistake.
I thought you'd pick one that I had nothing to compare it to, but I'm just going to tune into Unsolved later and see how you did.
I guess.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So Johnny's first case with you guys, you can watch the Unsolved episode and we'll see how he did. I can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get into the story, we do have a couple announcements. This is November. We are officially into November and we are doing a giveaway. We have a goal of getting to 70 subscribers for our bonus content, Murdered Midwest. To this point, I think we have 5 or 6 bonus episodes on there with one coming out every single week. If you sign up for the subscription, you'll have access to all of those episodes. You will also get a sticker and a letter from us, and Kayla does fun little phone backgrounds that she emails out to you as well. But yeah, it just helps us grow the channel. It helps us be able to do some things on our end to increase the quality and to take care of our guy, Cody. So we are also looking for a sponsor. If you know any businesses or if you are listening to this podcast at a business right now, we are looking for more sponsors for Missing Midwest, and we would love to talk to you about that. So just shoot us a message on Facebook and we will get you started. We're having a lot of fun with this, and it is very clear that our biggest support is coming from our own town of Kokomo, Indiana. Wow. So shout out to all my Kokomo listeners. We appreciate you, and we feel like that information can be good for some Kokomo businesses. So we are excited to work with anybody that would like to support us as a sponsor.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have other announcements?
No, I'm ready to
rock. Our podcast class is over.
Yes.
We did it. We hosted our first podcast class. It was a lot of fun.
Shout out across America. The people here are amazing.
We're going to do another one because so many people wanted to do another class that couldn't make it or, I don't know, different reasons. So we'll do another one. It was a lot of fun, though. Actually, a lady came up to us after and she was like, "Do you take case suggestions?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." And she goes, "Okay, 3 people went missing from my high school." And I was like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah, we went ham on that. We went home and we were just looking it up.
I was like, I cannot. We went home and I was just
shout out Amanda.
Yeah, her name is Amanda.
Thank you for that case suggestion.
Congratulations for making it out of that town because it sounds like it's not that easy to do apparently. So we will be coming at you with some of those cases because I did look into them and
there's a story there for sure.
There's a few stories there and there might be one big story of connection. I don't know yet. It's pretty interesting stuff though. But yeah, like one high school. Little teaser. One high school, less than 100 kids per class.
Very much like our small school.
So it's a small town, and in the 90s, 3 people went missing that graduated from that high school. Mind blown. I'm like, what is happening in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
But we'll come at you with those because I'm already working on it. Anything else?
I don't think so. I'm ready to get going.
Okay. You seem so confident.
You know what's stressful? Buying and selling a house. Just over a year ago, we were in the middle of the process and it was overwhelming. I am so thankful that we had someone like Amber to guide us through the process. She knew what to do and when to do it. You were so concerned about pricing and loans, and I was just concerned with the colors and the layout. Oh, you remember that?
Yes. Amber kept everything in mind, and we are in our dream house because of her. If you are looking to buy or sell in or around the Howard County area, you have to give Amber a call, or you can just give her a text at 765-865-1118.
You can follow her on Facebook at Amber White, Realtor/Broker with 𝒊𝒔𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒈 Associates. She posts the latest listings, giveaways, and even helpful home tips.
We are so grateful for Amber and all her help.
Where are we at today? What
All right.
you got for me?
Today's story is coming from a small town in Nebraska.
I feel like I should have practiced my wait a minute.
Oh, man.
I won't do it justice.
They have to flow naturally for it to work.
Okay, I'm going to
get
try
the
to
proper wait a
try
minute.
to properly time them. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Go.
All right. This town of Gothenburg, Nebraska is just slightly bigger than the town of Greentown where we grew up. They have about 3,400 residents. It was very similar back in 1987 where this case took place. There is one Dollar General, and we know that those people in Gothenburg love that Dollar General because
It's
when you have
everything to them.
when you have a Dollar General in your small town, it's like
You need toilet paper, the Dollar General's there.
yes.
You forgot to make snacks for your kids' class tomorrow, and they just told you at 8 p.m. Dollar General's there till 10 p.m.
Yep. Dollar Generals in a small town, they just hit a little different.
Love it.
We know those people love their Dollar General.
What's the name again?
Gothenburg.
Gothenburg?
Gothenburg, Nebraska.
That's a mouthful.
Tis.
Where are you from? Gothenburg,
I'm
Nebraska.
sure that's how they say it.
How many syllables? Gothenburg, Nebraska. I like it. It's a lot.
Hey, respect Gothenburg and your Dollar General.
I love it.
You know how small towns work.
Yeah.
Small towns, everybody knows everybody, and it's hard to keep secrets. Most people try to mind their own business, but when someone is reported missing, those quiet judgments become primary sources real quickly. Christy Jo Nichols was reported missing on December 12th, 1987 by her husband, Mark Nichols. The couple had married when Christy was 19 years old. The couple had 2 children together by the time she went missing in 1987, while she was only 22. On the night she went missing, Mark and Christy had hired a babysitter and went out to the bar that Christy worked at. They then went to a 24-hour grocery store before returning home around 12:30 a.m. The next morning, their children came into their bedroom, and Mark noticed that Christy was not there. As the morning went on, he expected to see her. When he hadn't, he decided to take his kids over to Christy's grandmother's house so he could go look for Christy. He reported her missing 2 hours later at 1:30 p.m. This is going to be a wild story, so buckle up.
I'm trying to decide if I'm on the husband did it or not yet.
See, that presumption that the husband did it, it's always there, and I had to read this beginning story as neutral as possible.
I felt like you were
that
trying to
didn't
neutrally
just
read it for
jump
me, though,
off
because
of your chair.
What was
and
his name?
Grab me and say the husband did it. I'm not going to let you Google him. I'm telling a story over
I'm
here.
not going to Google him.
Jeez.
I just want to remember his name and see if it sounds like a husband did it killer name.
Mark Nichols.
He did it.
Good
Mark
grief.
Nichols, last person to see his wife alive. Okay, it's not sounding good for Mark, but go ahead.
All right, so there's a lot of different ways to kind of tell this story in terms of the timeline. I wanted to read you what happened from his point of view that night, which is what I just read you.
Okay.
They went to the bar, they went to the grocery store, they went home. He woke up and she was gone. He took the kids to the grandma's house.
Okay,
All right. Grandma was absolutely not having any of this.
of course not.
Grandma
Probably 'cause she
was
didn't like
on
it in the
it
beginning,
from the
but-
jump. She did not like this interaction. He did not say, have you seen Christy or have you heard from Christy or is Christy over there? He just said that she was missing and he needed to drop the kids off and go look for her. Grandma's
Look at
place
him.
was
There's a
like
picture.
a potential place for her to go. So right off the bat, she was like,
Yeah.
she would come here. Like if she was in trouble, if she needed help, she would come here. And he was just like, right out of the gate, like I need to go look for her. And so she mentioned to cops that she did not like that. So we've got grandma upset right now.
Not good.
No, you don't want grandma upset.
Watch your back, Mark. You're going to be missing because
Right.
I bet you she's not having any of this crap.
Well, and so Mark later told cops that he drove around for hours, after he dropped the kids off at grandma's house, driving by places she would normally go to in their small town. First of all, he dropped them off at 11:30 at grandma's house and reported her missing to police at 1:30. So when he says he drove around for hours, he's talking about 2 hours, which doesn't really seem like an extensive search to me. I know it's a small town, but
Yeah.
I don't know. When police asked around to see if anyone, at the normal places she would be, saw him driving around, or if he came in and asked about her, nobody could confirm that. Nobody was like, oh yeah, he came in and asked where she was. Like, no, that didn't happen. Grandma wasn't even the only family member that Mark talked to that day that was upset with him. Christy's mom had called him around 10:30 that morning, and Mark had told her that Christy was sleeping, even though he said when he woke up, she was not there.
So he's lying.
Yeah, he definitely lied to the
off
mom.
the bat.
And when police asked him about this, he said, he didn't want to worry Christy's mom, who was about 100 miles away. He figured, she would be back soon.
Okay.
Even though he was, quote unquote, shook up when he dropped them off an hour later at grandma's house and reported her missing 3 hours later. When mom called at 10:30, he was like, oh, she's sleeping. She'll call you back.
I mean, I don't like Mark because I've seen his picture now, and I'm judging him by his looks, and just from what I've heard. But I don't think that's very weird because I guess if he truly didn't know where she was and he thought she might have just went away, I wouldn't want to worry family members, right? Because you're always worried that you're overreacting. A lot of times people don't call the police or 911 first because they're like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, I understand.
I feel like I'll give him that one.
I understand.
Everything else is sketchy though.
It gets sketchier.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. So I mentioned they had hired a babysitter, right? So when the cops went and talked to the babysitter, she said that Mark came home that night around 12:30, like he said.
Oh gosh.
But she never saw Christy.
Saw that coming.
She said that she was doing her homework when Mark got home.
But Mark says they got home at the same time.
Yeah, Mark said that he came home with her, that they both came home together at 1:30 or 12:30. Sorry. The babysitter said that she was doing her homework when Mark got home, and that he walked to the back of the house and brought cash out for her, even though Christy had always paid her with the check every time. So she was right away kind of where's Christy? Whatever, she knew that she was she knew that they were going to the bar that she worked at. So she wasn't I'm
and
concerned
also you're
about
the babysitter. What are you going to do?
Yeah. She wasn't
Where is
concerned
she?
about it at that time. But once she found out Christy was missing,
then
it was here was my experience. and she didn't know anything from anything. And so when she tells the cops that, Christy didn't come home, they were like, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
He said that they both came home. So when the police brought this up to Mark, he said, no, she was there. He said that
so he's just her word against my word?
Yeah.
That's his.
Yep.
He didn't even try to change his story. He's
She
no,
walked in
babysitters.
before him and went straight to the bathroom. Went straight to the back of the house and went to the bathroom. And the babysitter must have just missed her. And so when the cops went back...
Interesting approach there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. And the cops went back to the babysitter even, because small town, you don't have a lot of people to talk to anyways.
Wait a second.
And they said, Mark said that she was there and she went to the bathroom. Is that possible? The babysitter said that she was there for about 5 to 10 minutes from when Mark got home to when she left, and she never saw Christy, heard her footsteps, or heard her using the bathroom.
So she's
made a mental note that Christy's not here.
Huh. So she's good for her being being
yeah,
I'm not gonna back out of my story.
Yeah,
this guy's crazy.
So now things are looking a little different. Again, his story from the jump was that she ran away. He said that when he woke up, she wasn't there, and he didn't think anything of it. And then when she didn't come back around, he started to be like, okay, where's she at? And then he realized that her purse and a suitcase was gone, but her car wasn't. So then he was like, maybe she ran away. I don't know. If you think she ran away, why do you report her missing? There's a lot of things that don't add up throughout this whole story.
Don't like it.
Yeah, me neither. It didn't take long for small town rumors to start doing what small town rumors do. Mm-hmm. The immediate town rumor was that Mark had been abusive towards her, and that he had made her get gone. The small town rumors. Her cousin told police that Christy had confessed to her that Mark was abusive, showing her bruises on her side. In fact, just 10 days before she went missing, Christy had been in the hospital The doctor told police that she treated Christy several times before that and that she had looked like a, quote, scared rabbit and was, quote, obviously not telling me everything.
Whoa.
That visit to the hospital was for, I can't remember if it was a broken thumb or they had x-rayed her hand. And when they were like, Mark, what happened here? He said that she wanted to go out. He didn't want her to. They got into it. She burned him with a cigarette. And he threw her on the waterbed to get her off of him and hurt her hand.
Of course.
That was his story. As if that wasn't bad enough, a lawyer from a neighboring town came forward and said that just 2 days before Christy went missing, she was in his office preparing to file for divorce.
Oh, gosh. It's totally him.
And she even scheduled a future meeting.
In my opinion,
yeah.
I don't like Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not looking good.
As not to get sued.
It's not looking good. Yeah, the lawyer said she even scheduled a future meeting to continue with her plans.
Oh, yeah. That's...
So we have a hospital visit, a divorce lawyer visit, a witness saying Christy did not come home that night, and 2 interactions with family that look real bad. To continue his streak of looking guilty, Mark moved out of the house they lived in the day after she went missing.
Just left?
Yeah. Like, we're moving.
Because he probably... Does he have the kids?
He has the kids.
Where'd they go? He just
just
did he disappear? Like,
no, I think they moved to... I think it was either within the same town or, like, out in the country near the town.
Yikes.
I couldn't find, like, an exact, like, how far away they moved. It didn't sound like they moved far, but they moved out of the house. He also sold her car within a week.
Oh, boy.
And that's going to come back here in a minute.
It's like...
I've always been annoyed
the
by the
red
whole,
flags
like...
I've ever seen.
Yeah, right?
Literally, so, like...
Like, there's the husband did it, presumption, and then there's, like, wow, all these red flags. I mean, we're up to, like, 9 red flags, you know? Like, he couldn't put up any flag that wasn't red.
Yeah, he has given himself a husband did it t-shirt at this point.
Well, and the police are like, okay, you know...
Like, he might as well be wearing the t-shirt that says the husband did it.
Yeah. Well, and at first, too, it's like a lot of things I looked into were, like, bashing the police about this case. But, like, the very first thing from the jump, it's like the husband comes forward and reports her missing, says her purse and her suitcase are gone. Mm-hmm. There's no sign of a break-in. There's no sign of an abduction. Things weren't going great for them anyways. Like, he's like, yeah, my wife
nothing
left.
to go on.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't report anything.
She's probably not even reported as a missing person, is she?
So he reported her as a missing person, which, again, if you think she ran away, you don't report her as a missing person. So I thought that was strange. But there was, like I said, there was no initial evidence of foul play reported. So it was like, you know, there was no crime scene.
Like,
so
probably like there's nothing we can do.
They kind of just assumed it was a runaway and that she would either come back or she wouldn't.
She's an adult. If she wants to leave you, she can leave you.
Yeah, exactly. There was no mention of Christy's disappearance publicly until December 16th.
Oh my goodness.
Which was 4 days after, really 5 days. She technically went missing in the night of December 11th to the 12th. So yeah, and it was like on page 2 of the local paper. It wasn't mentioned like publicly in like any, you know, loud news format until January 6th, almost a month later, where people were like, oh, wow, Christy's gone. So that's when, you know, the first initial, it doesn't say, I couldn't find what day they talked to the babysitter or talked to the family.
Yeah.
But it wasn't right away because, again, they're like, oh, you're missing a suitcase and a purse. Like, dude, sorry, she left you.
Yeah.
You know, that was like the attitude at first.
Her family didn't believe she ran away, right?
Oh, for sure not. And we'll get there. But like to make matters worse,
like, you know, they had to be like screaming like his name to the police.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do. But, you know, you think about the timeline of it and you think about small towns, you know, by the time they realize like, okay, things are more sketchy than we realized and they start talking to the townspeople, they're like, hey, you know, we think she went missing on this date. Like, have you seen her after that? Some people are like, yeah, I saw her the other day. Well, the other day specifically, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's reports of people who said they saw Christy in the town after the date that she went missing, but no one really knew she went missing
So they don't know if
So, like,
they
it's,
saw her
you know,
was before or after, and
you know,
they're confused.
Exactly. Because they didn't start, it doesn't, like I said, I couldn't find like when they started asking people, but whether they were trying to help Mark out or remembering poorly or just like suck at facial recognition, like, you're my girl, but you're not great at facial recognition. People
No,
were
I'm
like,
pretty bad at
oh
it.
yeah, I saw Christy, but maybe it was like another person that kind of looked like Christy,
Very easily could have happened.
Regardless, it's making...
Eyewitnesses are really unreliable.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Their reports didn't help rule out Mark's runaway accusation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, took a suitcase, took her purse. People are saying they saw her. Like, this doesn't sound like foul play. It sounds like she left him.
Listen up. If you're a small business owner like myself, you understand the value of time. There is always something to be done, and it's up to you to do it. Your business is your baby, and you rarely can trust others with it. But what if I told you that I had somebody that you can trust, someone that can save you time and help your business grow? I do. With 𝒊𝒔𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒈, you have access to an entire team that will be there for you with marketing and advertising. It doesn't matter what the size of your budget or your business is. 𝒊𝒔𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒈 can help you take the stress of marketing off your plate and free up your time to do more of the things you love to do with your business. 𝒊𝒔𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒈 is a marketing company and a business partner, but my favorite thing about them is that they have become true friends. You can find out more about them and what they offer at 𝒊𝒔𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒈.com. Take it from me and put a bow on it.
So about 3 months later, the suitcase and the purse show up.
Where?
They're found at a gas station in a nearby city. Police reported that they looked like they had been neatly placed by the gas station, as opposed to like thrown out on the side of the road. When they opened the suitcase, yeah, everything was still neatly folded as if the suitcase had never been opened. In fact, Mark had told police in the beginning that Christy's purse and suitcase had been missing, and he went on to give a detailed report of what was missing in the house.
Oh, please.
That she must have taken, including specific items of clothing.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's obviously...
If I went missing today, you would not be able... Like, you might be able to be like, the car is gone and her, but you would not even be able to tell what I took or didn't.
No.
Clothing?
Like, listen, there are 746
I'm in front of you right now. You probably
clothing.
couldn't even describe what I'm wearing.
I just...
Be like a shirt and pants.
Like, I wouldn't even be able to tell you which bag you took. Like,
no, I have a million.
Yeah. So it was very weird
sketchy.
to the police up front. In fact, officer...
Sounds like you might have, I don't know, packed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Officer Terry Aarons found it surprising that the contents exactly matched the detailed list of missing items Mark had given police when Christy first disappeared.
And so he was right. The list matched the suitcase stuff?
Yes.
Oh, please.
Yes.
No.
This is a quote from Officer Terry Aarons. It appeared to everybody present that the suitcase had been placed there instead of just thrown out. The items were neatly lying around. It was like the person who put them there wanted them to be found. If my wife had left me, I wouldn't be able to look through the closet and tell you what she had taken. I probably would be able to tell you maybe what suitcase she had taken. But he had listed items, clothing right down to the line that he knew she had taken.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the police are calling bull on this too.
Yeah.
Good.
For sure.
Good.
It has been 35 years since Christy went missing. There have been no real leads or suspects other than Mark. And here's just this guy. Here's a quote from him. I'd never have done anything to hurt my wife. That's just the person I am. A lot of people think I'm a violent person. I'm not a violent person. I want very much for Christy to come home. But if for some reason she doesn't want to come home, Christy, at least call somebody. Let us know where you are, whether you're all right.
Wow, how heartfelt.
Yeah. As far as other town rumors go, I couldn't tell if this was an actual town rumor or a rumor that Mark said he heard, but he had mentioned that she had possibly ran off with another guy. He said that he had found a note in her car.
Oh, yeah.
After she had gone missing. This is what the note said. This is what he said the note said. He turned the note into the police. That was written to another man. It said, I want you to know that I will probably be leaving after Christmas, and I will try to not see you or talk to you until then. It will work out somehow. I'm really sorry. And it was titled to like another guy.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
She was planning on leaving him.
And so
she went to a divorce lawyer.
Yeah. Did
they check into the other guy?
The police talked to this other guy and ruled him out as a suspect.
And Christy wasn't like living in his house with him?
Right, exactly. And so like
so she had a plan and she didn't get to follow through with it.
I would love to know more about that guy. Because like I couldn't find his name in this. Like they kept his name out of it.
I mean, like the fact that she said like, I'll be with you after Christmas, and if she ran away, I mean, she didn't do that. So
right.
She's not with him.
Well, and this note thing, like he said that he found this note in her car after she went missing.
I mean, was it her handwriting? Like, I'm sure they were able to verify if she actually wrote it or not.
I mean, you would think, but everything that I read was like, this note was allegedly written by her, like supposedly written by her.
I think it'd be pretty hard for a man to fake a note written by his wife.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think so too, but like
I'm 100% confident you couldn't even come close.
I've seen women's writing that is not as nice as mine.
Okay, but you would be able to compare it to her writing, and I guarantee he couldn't have got it close enough.
But here's the thing about this note. Here's the thing about this note. He sold her car less than a week after she went missing.
What the heck?
My question is, did the police ever search her car? Because at first, it was considered to be a runaway.
Why did he want it gone? Probably not. I mean, it was like 4 or 5 days.
My guess is that they didn't search her car.
Yeah.
And that he was like, I found this note in her car. Here it is. Like this guy right here, maybe a guy that he suspected something about. I don't know. But like he has this note that he says he found in her car. Where's the car? We sold it. I did not like that. I did not like that one bit. It just seemed a little bit too convenient for Mark.
Everything's pretty convenient for Mark. Why is he selling her car a week after she went missing?
Yeah, it's sketch.
What if, like, okay, did you ever consider, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
We just have his word that he found that note in her car and that she wrote it and that his car, he sold it because he had to. And
I hate it.
There were all kinds of different town rumors about different ways that Mark had killed Christy and disposed of her body. And Mark literally laughed about one of them in an interview.
What?
He stated that, quote, "People were saying that I chopped her up and put her in garbage bags and buried her in the dump. That one really got me because I guess they actually went digging around up there."
He thought it was funny?
He was like, it's ridiculous. Like his stance was, it's ridiculous that people think he killed her. And it's funny that they went and actually dug around because they're not going to find her there because I didn't do it. Was like his stance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting approach.
Yeah. Christy's.
What about the kids? Did he get custody of the kids this whole time?
How would he not?
Can you imagine being the family and knowing that he probably did it and not be able to get your grandkids away or your sister's kids or whatever?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Christy's family adamantly refutes the idea that she intentionally left her kids. Her mom was quoted to say, "Christy never felt she accomplished anything until she had her children, and there was something she could look at and say, hey, I did this pretty well. Nobody can do this any better." She was just so proud of her kids. I would have never thought that Christy would run away. She would have never left her children.
Also, if she ran away, why did you find her suitcase and purse?
Yeah, and why none of the contents were missing?
Yeah, okay, she ran away. She took her suitcase and purse, and then like how many weeks later, or what do you say?
3 months later.
3 months later, you find her. Okay, well then now you need to move on to like foul play because now she's out there without her purse and her belongings.
Yeah,
like, what's going on?
Exactly. Yeah, and they have just like nothing to go on other than this husband saying she ran away, which they all believed at first.
I have so many questions about like evidence, like
yeah. There was none.
Did they search the house? Did they search the vehicle?
He didn't own the house after like a few days after she left.
Yeah, but like they still could have went and looked through things or something.
Or I imagine he would have cleaned the house pretty good before he sold it.
Yeah,
or moved out.
Through his belongings or like.
Yeah.
Did anybody see his car?
I couldn't narrow down
going anywhere in the middle of the night.
Everything that I read, like the
Boots
police
mysteriously covered in mud, like
yeah, the police in hindsight are like, oh, this guy's the guy, but like at first,
and now there's been how many years and
35 years,
there's nothing we can do about it.
Nothing.
He's just out there living his life. My legal counsel advised that I say, in my opinion, I think Mark did this.
Yeah,
and in my opinion, I think Mark should probably be questioned again.
Yeah. In 1990, Mark filed for divorce on grounds of desertion. He remarried at least once.
Yikes.
I
Who remarries
I
to
couldn't
that?
tell if, like, the way it was worded in both articles that mentioned his remarriage, it was like, I couldn't tell if he's still married. It was like he remarried once, and then Cody got divorced after that. She's not missing or anything.
I was
All right.
gonna say.
Because
You know what's a real big red flag? Second wife goes missing.
Yeah. It did say that I think he had 2 more kids from a different relationship after Christy.
I would love to ask what the kids think.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because, they were like 1 and 2 when this happened.
Yeah.
You know what? It reminds me of another case that's from our area.
I literally was thinking there's a case from our area. Y'all know probably what I'm talking about. Our listeners, I get messages seriously probably once a week to do this case. And just so you know, I'm definitely... One of the main reasons I wanted to do this podcast was this case. So it's coming. It's just a lot of research and interviews and stuff. But there is a case where a wife went missing in the middle of the night, and the husband said, "Yep, she left me," and he's got a second wife now. So
let me just say this: this is so incredibly frustrating to me. I think it's really clear, listening to this story, that in my opinion, Mark Nichols is a horrible person, and we should all stay very clear. I believe in innocent until proven guilty. That's the way the law works, and I respect that. But common sense is also relevant to the way my brain works.
Yeah.
While it is possible that Mark is innocent, which is a long shot, any logical person should recognize that the possibility that he murdered his wife is significant. He should not be trusted. He should not be put in places where he is caring for women.
You probably shouldn't marry him.
Be careful around Mark Nichols or maybe other people like him. He is now in his 60s. If you happen to hear or know anything about this case, you are urged to call the Nebraska State Police at 308-535-8047. Someone knows something. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.